Calls.
It's time now for House Calls with the Kingery team of Mountain to Lake Realty.
Keep it here for market insights, featured guests, and answers to your real estate questions.
Here are your hosts, Steve Furrow and Julie Kingery.
Hey! House Calls, baby, yeah! We're back. We are back here with House Calls on a Saturday morning. Pretty excited to be here. Billy,
yes.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just listening to you, Steve. Listening to you rock and roll.
Hey, guys, today we got a special guest, and that is Billy Kingery has joined us today. He's sitting in the chair where Julie would normally be. Billy, we do appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you, Steve. Glad to be here. It's my first show. They won't let me do this.
Well, we'll try this one out. We'll see how it goes. But that being said, you guys, this is House Calls on B99.9, and we're excited to be here with you. We talk about everything that is real estate. We talk about trends. We talk about what's going on. So, Billy, let's jump in here with both feet if we can. This is, we think about what's going on in the market. What do you? If I said to you, Billy, what is happening in the real estate market? What would be? Give us a couple of quick points.
Well, we have a really good inventory right now. It's kind of a seller's market still, but interest rates, everything that I read, and all the economic forecasts and papers and magazines, interest rates are going to hold about 6.5% to 7% for a while.
That's when you look at it from a trend standpoint, we're ticking up a little in the last few weeks.
Yes,
over the last 6
up.
weeks, it's kind of ticked up a little bit.
It has.
Up over 6.5%. And again, we talk about it all the time. The interest, what you get quoted to you gets to be very specific to your own credit history.
Correct.
What you owe, what you own, those kind of things make a big difference. How big your down payment is, all those things come in and make a big difference.
Would you like to know what my interest rate was back when I built my house in 1980?
I've never heard this. Tell us, Bill.
You haven't heard that? I think you probably have. It was 11%. So when I think about somebody getting a 765 or less, I think, man, that's a good deal. But the thing you have to think about, housing is much more expensive today than it was back in the day. So that's a huge factor. Factor.
And it is more expensive when you think about the actual dollars. But Bill, I can also say, back when you think about in the 80s, $1 would buy you a whole lot more.
A lot more.
than it will today.
More.
So we need to keep that in mind. We think about, the things that have changed. And Bill, we're going to take some time here in the second segment. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the changes that have happened. I know you're excited to start that conversation, but let's take just a moment and step back. And when we talk about inventory, Billy was quick to point out inventory is improving. Inventory, we're up over 1,700 homes, Billy, in the greater Roanoke Valley when you include Martinsville, Henry, Patrick County, up over 7. And that we've never been there in the last probably 4 or 5. I mean, we're getting down post-COVID kind of discussion.
That's right.
When you're thinking about as a buyer, more choices is a good thing.
Oh yeah.
We gotta keep that in mind. People, when we think about what's going on in this real estate market, inventory improving, I think is a positive thing. And from a seller perspective, Bill, I don't think that's a negative thing. We're still in a seller's market.
Yeah.
We look at the overall inventory, and then we look at what turns over, what sells every month. We are still in a seller's market. It's not as, the seller doesn't have all the leverage like he did maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But certainly, it's still, we still need homes on the market. There's still demand for housing.
Yeah.
It keeps.
Most people will look at probably 7 to 12 houses before they make the final decision to purchase. So, the inventory's there, and so there's plenty of homes to see. You just got to find the right one. There's a home for everybody.
That it is. That it is. And when we think about, we talk about a seller's market and, kind of the leverage that they may or may not have. Buyers out there, keep in mind that, you've got the opportunity to negotiate. The homes are staying on the market a little longer than what they have in the past. And so a buyer's maybe willing, or not a buyer, but a seller's willingness to negotiate, I think today is better than it's been.
Yes.
If you're thinking about things from a buyer perspective, you really got to keep that in mind on that front.
And we're not getting the multiple offers that we once got. We are getting some, but they're not as often as they have been in the past when everything was fast and furious.
Yeah, and we talked about that here in the past as well. We talk about how inventory is improving, but if you're a buyer in this market, you still got to stay on top of it. I mean, it's
absolutely.
You can't go to sleep and think, well, it'll be there tomorrow. You're big about, Billy. Let's get it done, right? Let's get that. Let's get an offer. Let's get.
You gotta ask. Do you want to buy this house?
Do you get
which one do you like the best?
You got to get an offer written. Got to get it signed. We got to get it out there, negotiated to get a deal for sure. And as a buyer, guys, don't let the thought of, well, inventory is improving, so I don't have to be quite as vigilant. I think it's more important today as it has ever been in staying on top of what's going on as this market continues to move and churn along. We talked about inventory improving, but home sales, when you look at what we've done, compare May to a year ago, April to a year ago, things have been steady. And we've talked about that numerous times here. This market right now is steady. Yep. It continues to kind of churn along. No major movement other than people still are buying and selling homes every day.
Yeah, we went from fast and furious to steady, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yep, and certainly a great spot to be from that standpoint. Billy, I'm going to step out of the market for just a minute, and we need to wish all of the dads out there. This is the
absolutely
Father's Day edition of House Calls.
Yep. And Happy Father's Day to all fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day. You got big plans for your Father's Day, Bill?
Oh, family will get together, and we'll probably have a cookout. And I don't know, we get together a lot, so it'll be a fun time. Yeah, all the kids and grandkids, and we'll have a good time. Of course, Steve and the boys, they're headed to. Can we talk about that? They're headed to Sea Base in Florida. They're big into the Scouts, and they're going to Sea Base in Florida in the morning. I think they're leaving at 2:00, and that's in
Key
West, Florida. So they're going to have a big week down there with the Scouts.
It'll be a Father's Day to remember for me.
That's going to be a big Father's Day.
So I know everybody wants to know. I've had this conversation with Julie, Bill. So hamburger, hot dog on the grill. All right, hamburger
on the cob.
Yeah. What would be your choice if you got a hamburger or a hot dog? What would you have? One or the other?
Probably a good old Lazy Acres hamburger.
All right, that's great. Great answer. They can't get any better than that. So we're going to let that thing wrap things up here for this first segment. We're going to be back, and we're going to talk about, we're going to put Billy on the hot seat and let him talk to us a little bit about some of the changes that he's seen in the real estate business over his years. So
we don't have enough time to talk about that.
Let me get the abbreviated version. But we'll be right back.
Cliff Note version.
House Calls.
Buying, selling, moving fast.
The Kingery team delivers results with heart.
We're the local family team that knows this market inside and out and treats every client like one of our own.
Quick closings, strong offers, no nonsense. Whether you're upsizing, downsizing, or just ready for a change, let's make it happen.
The Kingery team, selling real estate 1 yard at a time. Located uptown Rocky Mount at 195 South Main Street. Give us a call at 540-483-5566. All right. We're back with House Calls. Yeah. Billy.
Steve, settle down.
Get excited about this now. Oh, yeah. And it's not every day we get someone like yourself in here with, just years of experience, lots of understanding of the real estate business. And so, Bill, we're gonna take away. You normally do question of the week, And instead of doing that, I want to have a conversation with you about the real estate business and how it's changed in your, as you see when you started out, and then of course now there's been a few years in between those two things.
How many years do you think it's been?
I'm gonna say 35.
36.
All right. See, I wasn't too far off.
36. Yeah, it's been a good ride, and had a lot of good clients, a lot of good folks to work with. And I think most of the folks I've worked with have been real happy. And of course, it is what it is. You do the best you can and hope that everything works out. But the changes, golly, they've been a lot. There have been a lot of changes. When I started, we had a one-page contract that was a duplicate. It had like 4 duplicate pages. So you, as the realtor that wrote the offer for the buyer, you contacted the listing agent and made arrangements to go in person to the seller's home, and you presented the contract yourself. You went over the contract with them. Then they would ask you to step outside. Of course, if it was cold, they'd let you stay in the house and go to a warm room. But anyway, and then they would talk about it. They would call you back in when they were ready and say, well, yeah, we'll accept this offer, or we're going to counter, and you get your counter. So then you would call that's cell phones had just come into play then. So you could call your buyer and kind of do a verbal negotiation, and then hopefully get it taken care of while you were there. But I had one situation where I had a house listed. The agent came in, presented her offer. She stepped aside until we negotiated. We came back. She came back in. Then I shouldn't say he or she, but anyway, they came back in, and we told them what our counter was. She slammed her book shut and walked out the door. So that was probably the most aggressive negotiation that I think I've experienced.
She wasn't happy with you, Bill.
She wasn't happy with the seller. She wasn't happy with me. But I think we finally did work that out, but after a few negotiations. But, it was like, everything was in person. You had to write the offer in person. You delivered the offer in person. You negotiated the offer in person on the first negotiation, and then you could call and negotiate after that until you could come to terms. But then DocuSign, this was probably one of the biggest and greatest changes that have taken place. I mean, everything is electronic. You negotiate, you talk over the phone, and you fill out the forms, send them. They sign electronically, send them back. You send them to the agent that has the house listed, and they can sign, they cross out and change, and negotiate back and forth that way, which saves a lot of miles and a lot of time across the county. Because back in the day when I first started, I mean, you might be out till 10 or 11 o'clock at night going back and forth trying to get deals to come together. But that was probably the biggest change that helped to ease our negotiations and helped get the deal to come together, come to fruition more quickly. Of course, we went from a one-page contract, this duplicate, to now we have 9 pages for just the contract part. Then we have the lead-based paint, we have the residential property disclosure, the summary of rights and obligations, and of course the lead-based paint wouldn't be except for a house that's 78, built in 1978 or before.
But it's fair to say you talk about the 9-page purchase agreement. That is a standard today.
Yeah, standard.
But the list goes on and on. You're rattling off those disclosures, but I mean, it can be pretty cumbersome. I mean, there's nothing to see 16 or 20 pages in this day and time when we get it all said and done.
Yeah, and we didn't have home inspections before. I mean, people would look at the house and check everything, but now that we've got home inspectors out there, they are inspecting these homes, and then you have another whole new set of negotiations to try to come to an agreement on what the seller's responsible for and what he's not responsible for. So, I mean, that's a big change too. And so there's been a lot of changes over the years, Steve.
Well, and another one I think about, and I don't have near the experience that you two, Bill, but I think about, when you think about the information 35 years ago, it's my understanding that there was like a Sears and Roebuck catalog that had to to do just with houses, right?
Yeah.
That was everything was in there, and did that come out monthly or quarterly?
Every 2 weeks, we got this big, thick, 1.5 inch thick magazine or book that had all the listings, and it had like 8 listings on each page. And if somebody called and had a request and gave you their request of things that they wanted in a house, and you'd go through that book, and you could make a copy of it, send it to them. But and then they may be sold. I mean, we didn't get it but every 2 weeks, so you didn't know how quickly things sold. So you had to stay in touch with whichever listing agent had it listed, so you didn't go show a house that was already under contract, because the book didn't update. It's not like the computers today. I mean, you know the day it goes under contract, so then you don't need to show the house, but unless you want to do a backup contract. But it's that book kind of eliminated. They would deliver it.
And I can't imagine the some of the just how cumbersome that could be. And like I said, I don't have any. That was before my time, but I just think about, gosh, how keeping up with that and then trying to share information. Where today, I mean, we get carried around in our hand,
That's right.
With our phones. So it's just a crazy to think about some of those changes.
Such a waste of paper. I mean, a waste of paper. But that's what we had back then. That was before computers, and but now everything's at your fingertip. You call me today, right now, call me and ask me about a price. I can look it up right now and tell you everything you need to know about that property, and schedule an appointment so we can go sell it to you.
Sure. Well, I think, Billy, it's I appreciate you sharing that, because sometimes when you think about we get busy in the day-to-day and maybe don't have a real appreciation for how far we've come, and those changes have been good, some better than others, I think it's fair to say, but certainly a great, a lot of improvements that have helped make things easier from that standpoint.
That's not easier. It's still a lot to deal with, but it helps the buyer and the seller, the improvements. I mean,
sure. Well, I want to tell you, take just a quick break here before we finish things up. I've been at this now 7 years with the Kingery team at Mountain to Lake Realty, and I certainly do appreciate Billy, you and Julie and Betty allowing me to be a part of the team, and I am very thankful for the opportunity and your willingness to share your experience with me. It's been truly appreciated. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Guys, we're going to let that wrap things up for this week's House Calls. We will be back next Saturday at 9 a.m. here on B99.9. If you've got questions, we'd love to hear from you. 276-629-9999. You can text us your questions, and we'll be glad to answer them here on the show. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, take care.
Thanks for listening to House Calls with the Kingery team of Mountain to Lake Realty, with your hosts, Steve Furrow and Julie Kingery. If you have questions about anything discussed on today's show, text us at 276-629-9999. Join us again next Saturday at 9 for more tips, trends, and answers to your real estate questions on House Calls with the Kingery team of Mountain to Lake Realty and Southern Virginia's country station, B99.9.
House Calls.